I gave her my fries. Now this alien girl growls at anyone who comes near me. Jace had delivered 5 parcels that morning, all across Sector 12. It was a long, noisy day filled with traffic lights, honking air cars, and impatient customers. He didn't like crowds. He didn't like loud voices. And he definitely didn't like the greasy food his company cafeteria served. So, like every afternoon, he walked into the narrow alley behind the dispatch center. It was quiet there, cool, a place no one cared about. He always brought his lunch usually. Just fries in a paper cone and sat on the back steps of the loading dock. But today, something was different. There was someone already there. At first, he thought it was a child. Small figure, crouched low behind an old dumpster. But then he saw the long silver-white hair falling in messy waves down her back. She was barefoot, her skin dusted with grime, and her clothes were torn. But what made Jace freeze were her eyes. They glowed, not bright, not like lights, but just softly, like moonlight trapped in water. Her eyes were large, almond-shaped, and completely still. She didn't blink. She didn't speak. She just watched him. Jace looked around. The alley was empty. No footsteps. No sounds. Carefully, he sat down on the step, unwrapped his fries, and took one. Her head moved slowly, like a wild animal sniffing for food but too afraid to come closer. "You hungry?" he asked, holding one out. She didn't respond. Jace placed a fry on the ground near her and leaned back. He didn't want to scare her. After a few seconds, she crawled forward, not walked, but crawled and picked it up. She sniffed it first, then nibbled, then very slowly ate the whole thing. Jace smiled a little and put another one down. She took it again, and another. Now she was closer. He could see her face. Her skin was pale with a faint golden shimmer, almost like it was reflecting light from inside. There were tiny patterns on her cheeks, like faint tattoos, made of dust and stars. "What's your name?" he asked softly. She didn't answer, but she didn't run either. That's when he heard it, a click, not from her. From behind him, Jace turned his head slightly in, saw a tall figure in black, standing just inside the alley entrance. The man wore a dark coat and something metallic around his ear. His face was calm, too calm. Cold eyes scanned Jace, and then locked on the girl. Jace blinked. She was already standing, no crouched, between him and the man. Her posture changed instantly. She lowered herself like a predator ready to attack, and then she growled. Not a loud sound, but low, deep, raw. It wasn't a sound a human could make. The man raised his hand, but said nothing. He tapped something on his wrist. A small blue light blinked. The girl growled louder. "I think you should go," Jace said, unsure why his voice was shaking. The man didn't reply. He gave a small nod to himself, then slowly stepped back and disappeared around the corner. Jace turned to her. "Who was that?" The girl didn't speak. She just looked at him again, and something changed in her eyes. Trust, sadness, fear. He wasn't sure. She took the last fry from his cone and gently placed it back into his hand. Then, without warning, she sat beside him, quiet, still close. Jace didn't know it yet, but everything was about to change. This girl, this strange, glowing, growling creature, was not just a runaway. She was a secret the universe was trying to erase. And by offering her a fry, Jace had just made himself part of that secret. Forever. Jace didn't remember falling asleep, but when he opened his eyes the next morning, she was still there sitting, cross-legged on his dusty couch like a statue, quiet, watching. She hadn't said a word all night. He had offered her water. She drank it. He gave her a blanket. She didn't use it. Instead, she just sat, alert, like a guard, or a shadow that had come alive. Jace didn't ask questions. Not yet. The day passed strangely. At work, She followed him from a distance, never too close, never too far. She walked barefoot, silent on pavement, hiding behind parked air bikes, billboards, trash bins. She never blinked when people passed, and yet no one saw her. Not a single person. Jace tested it. He asked his coworker Sam, "Hey, see that girl?" Near the wall. Sam looked confused. "What girl?" Jace turned. She was gone, until he looked in the windows. Reflection, and there she was, standing just behind him, still as glass. That evening, he took the long way home. He walked through narrow alleys, then turned into the old city, blocks abandoned, forgotten, left behind when the mega towers were built. He wanted to see something, to test something. In an alley where no eyes watched, he stopped and whispered, "Why are you following me?" The wind moved. She stepped out from the dark, slowly. Her voice was dry, cracked like it hadn't been used in years. "You fed me." "That was just fries," Jace said, trying to keep his tone light. "You looked hungry." She stepped closer. "You are kind. That is rare." Jace noticed something new. Her arm was glowing faintly, pulsing in rhythm with her breath. Lines beneath her skin lit up like veins of soft gold. "Are you hurt?" he asked. "No." She paused. "But they will come now." "Who?" Before she could answer, a man appeared at the alley's mouth. The same one in the dark coat. This time he wasn't alone. Two more followed, all silent, all wearing the same symbol on their collars, a sharp triangle inside a circle. One of them raised a scanner. It beeped 3 times. The girl hissed, stepped back. "What do you want from me?" The man in the coat spoke at last. His voice was calm. "To calm, you made contact." That was a mistake. Jace's heart pounded. "She's just a girl." "No," the man said, pulling a glowing device from his jacket. "She's a beacon." Without warning, she jumped, not away, toward them. Her hands shimmered energy, bursting like smoke from her fingers. The first man flew backward, crashing into a steel bin. The second one aimed bet. Jace screamed, "Don't shoot." The girl turned, reached for Jace's arm, and then everything went white. When the light faded, they were standing on a rooftop 5 blocks away. Jace's knees buckled. "W was that?" She didn't look tired, but her voice was quieter now. "They found me because of you. They marked you too." He stared at her. "Marked me? For what?" She took a deep breath. "You touched me. You fed me. We are connected. Now." Jace's hand trembled. "You mean I'm like your partner?" "No." She looked at him directly. "You are my shield now." That night, Jace didn't sleep. He sat by the window, watching shadows move across rooftops, wondering what exactly had he gotten himself into. Why did no one else see her? And most of all, what would happen when the rest of them arrived? Jace didn't remember unlocking his apartment door. He didn't remember the walk home either. Everything after that. Rooftop Flash was a blur, like his brain had decided to shut off the moment reality started breaking apart. But what he did remember clearly was her, sitting on the couch, hands folded, face calm, and the stranger's dead body, lying near the door, blood on the tiles, blood on her hands. He froze. The room was cold. Too cold. The heater wasn't broken, had simply stopped working. Lights flickered overhead. The silence felt heavy. "What did you do?" Jace whispered. She didn't answer. He stepped back. "Did you kill him?" Still, she said nothing. Then, she tilted her head and spoke in that soft, alien voice. He was not human. "What?" Jace's mouth went dry. She stood slowly, her glowing fingers leaving red stains on the couch as she moved. He was made to look like one, skin suit, inside steel and toxin. She raised her hand. It trembled now, not with fear, with exhaustion. "I was too slow. He found your home." Jace knelt beside the body, now noticing a crack in the skull metal wires and a blinking chip, exposed under fake skin. His breath caught. She was right. The man was no man at all. Some kind of machine scout, hidden in flesh. But how did she fight it alone? You saved me again, he muttered. I am programmed to protect. That sentence made Jace blink. Programmed? You mean like a robot? She looked up. No, like a weapon. Jace sat down, hard. His back hit the wall. He felt like the floor was tilting beneath him. So let me get this straight, he said. You're an alien. You were being hunted. And now they've sent things wearing human skin to find you. She gave a small nod. And me? What am I now? Just bait. No, she said softly. You're my anchor. What does that even mean? She walked to the window and opened it. The city buzzed below, cars flying, neon lights flashing, a world moving forward without a clue of what was about to come. She touched her chest. When I escaped, I was breaking law, royal law. I held forbidden energy inside me. I could survive but not stabilize. I needed someone steady, someone human. That was the only way. Jace frowned. So you picked me because I had fries. She turned to him, double quotes. No, because you didn't run. That silence returned. Thicker now, heavier than knock knock on the door. Jace jumped. She looked at him sharply, eyes glowing again. They're back. He reached for his phone. No signal. The girl pressed her fingers against the wall and a ripple passed through it like water. Back room now. Jace didn't argue. He followed. The wall beside his kitchen opened like a curtain, revealing a space that didn't exist before. A small, metallic room humming with light. Is this in my apartment? Jace gasped. No, it's in me. Inside, the walls shimmered like mirrors. A small seat rose from the floor. Lights circled the edges. Jace sat, breathing fast. What is this place? She didn't answer directly. It hides us. For now. Jace looked into her eyes, suddenly aware how alien they really were. Not just glowing, but deep like looking into a night sky that moved. I'm not ready for this, he whispered. She sat beside him. Neither was I. Outside, the knocking stopped. But footsteps didn't. Something else had entered the apartment. Something bigger than a skin-scout *JACE. Had never seen the stars move. But inside the strange silver room, hidden behind his kitchen wall, the ceiling above him looked alive. It wasn't just a ceiling, it was a sky, dark, endless, full of shifting lights, shapes, and symbols that danced like constellations. Some looked like letters, some like wounds, some almost like maps. The girl stood beneath it, arms stretched, and the stars responded to her hands. I don't understand, Jace whispered. You will, she said. He didn't know how long he had been inside that room. Time felt different here, slower, heavy, like it had weight. Finally, he asked, what are you? She turned. My name is Lyra. My world had no sound, only light. We spoke through pulses, vibrations. You call it energy. And now my world is gone. The stars above flickered and a vision played out in the sky like a memory trapped in light. A shining planet, green, blue, towers like crystal. Then darkness, explosions, ships falling from space, screams made of fire and silence. JACE gasped. That was your home? Lyra nodded. My people tried to hide me. I was the last seed, a living code, but they sent harvesters, not to capture, to erase. And now they're here, Jace asked. No, she whispered. They've always been here, watching Earth, preparing. Jace's breath caught in his throat. So they're not just after you. They're planning something bigger. Lyra closed her eyes. When I touched your hand on the rooftop, something changed. You opened a channel and anchor for my frequency. That bond should not exist. You're not one of us. And yet, she paused, searching for the right word. Your soul resonated. Suddenly, Jace felt a sharp sting behind his ear. He touched it. His fingers came back glowing faint gold. What is this? Lyra looked worried. You're starting to receive. Receive what? The language. The signal. My people called it Sinetha, voice of stars. It is ancient, forbidden, to share with outsiders. But now it's inside you. Jace stared at his glowing hand, his skin lighting up with soft threads of moving light. He didn't feel afraid. He felt awake. Then the silver room flickered. Lyra snapped her head toward the ceiling. They found the signal. Jace stood. I thought we were hidden. We were, she said calmly. But now, they've activated the beacon inside the dead scout. Jace's stomach turned. You mean the body? Yes, Lyra said, voice cold. They're using it to track me. Through you. He ran a hand through his hair. So what now? She looked up. We run. But this time, we run to speak. Speak. To who? Lyra walked to the silver wall. It parted silently, revealing the outside world. Again gray skies, neon lights. A city that had no idea it was in danger. She looked at Jace. To those who still understand the stars. There are others like me hiding. They must hear your voice. Mine? Yes, she said, because your voice can do what mine no longer can. They will listen to a human. Jace blinked. Just days ago, he was delivering packages and eating fries behind a warehouse down now. The stars were waking up inside his skin. He took a breath, then followed Lyra into the shadows where neon met the unknown. Asterisk. Rain hit the city like broken glass. Each drop sharp, cold, and glowing faint blue under the night lights. Earth had changed climate twisted by the quiet war no one saw coming. But Jace didn't notice the rain anymore. He was running, and she was running beside him. Lyra didn't slip. She didn't breathe hard. Her bare feet danced across rooftops like she had wings. Jace followed, heartbeat in his ears, lungs on fire. They had escaped the second attack, but just barely. A bolt of light had missed Jace's head by inches. Lyra had thrown herself over him, her body flashing gold, her palms catching the energy midair. He thought she would burn alive, but she didn't. Instead, the blast vanished into her. They now sat in an abandoned parking tower, 10 floors above ground. Jace leaned against a wall, soaked and shaking. Lyra stood at the edge, staring at the rain. He finally whispered, "How did you do that? That light you caught?" She didn't look back. "I redirected it." Jace frowned. "That blast was meant to kill me." She nodded once. "You saved me again," he said quietly. Still no answer. But then, Lyra stepped toward him slowly. She reached out. Her hand touched his chest right where his heart was. Jace felt a sharp warmth, like fire being poured gently into his blood. "I didn't just redirect it," she said. "I stored it." Jace looked at his hands. Tiny golden sparks danced across his fingers. "What's happening to me?" he asked. "You are changing," she replied. "Your body is starting to carry my field. You are no longer just human." Jace laughed, but it didn't feel real. "So I'm what, some kind of half-alien now?" Lyra gave a small smile. Her first one. "No, you're a shield, a rare type." He blinked. "Explain." "There's a code in your cells, your DNA. When I touched you, it recognized me, and instead of rejecting me, it welcomed me. My energy locked with yours. That only happens in ancient bonds, once spoken in the old language." Jace stood up. "So that glow, this heat in my chest tease you." She stepped back. "It's us." At that moment, Jace heard a hum, low, deep, vibrating in the concrete. He looked around. "Do you hear that?" "Yes," Lyra said, voice sharp. "Now, they're scanning the building. They're using sound probes. What do we do?" She closed her eyes, and her skin shimmered gold again. "You must trust the shield within you. I don't even know how it works. You don't need to." She reached for his hand, and just like that time, slowed. The hum turned into a scream. The air turned thick, and the wall beside them exploded. A massive figure stepped through, taller than any man, armored, its face made of black glass, red lines, flickering like veins, a harvester sentinel. Jace stepped back, but Lyra stood between him and the machine. "No," she whispered, "he will stand." She turned to Jace. "Breathe." He did. Her hand touched his forehead and a flash of gold lit up the whole room. The sentinel raised its weapon. Jace raised his hand, and to his own shock a wave of light shot from his palm, cracking the ground beneath the harvester's feet. It stumbled, growled, then powered up again. Lyra's eyes widened. "You're faster than I expected. I don't even know what I did." "You don't need to know. You need to feel." Jace looked down. His chest glowed brighter now. His skin buzzed. The pain in his head had vanished. His heart was beating, not with fear, but with purpose. The shield within him was awake. Outside, more sentinels approached, but inside, a new kind of warrior had just been born. Not alien, not human, but something in between, something dangerous, something chosen. It started with a whisper in the sky. No sound, no warning, just a deep silence. And then the clouds above the city folded. Not parted, folded, as if something massive pressed through invisible seams in space. JC and Lyra stood on the rooftop of an old tech factory, staring upward. The stars above twisted, shimmered, and then vanished. In their place floated a shape. Not a ship, not a drone, but a structure. Alive, it looked like a jellyfish made of light and metal, glowing veins, stretching for miles. Its center pulsed with red fire, and long, root-like tendrils reached downward into the city like claws. Jace's mouth went dry. "Is that one of yours?" Lyra shook her head slowly. "No, that's one of theirs." She stepped back. "They've come to collect." Below, the city carried on. Cars flew. Screens blinked. No one noticed the sky had changed. The cloaking tech was strong only those connected to the frequency could see it. Jace could see it, because now he was part of the code. Suddenly a voice echoed inside his head. "You carry what does not belong." Jace clutched his skull. "Did you hear that?" Lyra nodded. "They've activated a min-linked crude version. Dangerous. They are speaking to you." "Why me?" "Because you're the shield, and the shield is no longer hiding." Without warning, a bolt of energy fell from the sky and slammed into the city's central tower. Power grids failed, lights flickered, alarms screamed. Still, people didn't see the real threat above them. Jace turned to Lyra. "What do they want?" She stared at the glowing beast above. "Not me, not anymore." Her eyes locked with his. "They want you?" Jace stumbled back. "Me? I don't even know what I am." Lyra spoke softly. "You are a bridge between light and matter, between memory and flesh. You hold my language now, my signal. That makes you the only voice that can unlock the vault." "What vault?" "The last key my people hid. The one thing these creatures never found. A weapon? A cure? I don't know. Only the vault will tell." Then the sky shimmered again. 3 new beings appeared not from the ship. They floated, not with wings, not with tech, but with silence. Each wore a robe of silver dust. No faces, just a swirling center of light where a head should be. Lyra gasped. "They've awakened the elders." "Are they more enemies?" "No," she whispered. "They're older than war." One of the elders pointed at Jace. And then something impossible happened. The mark on Jace's chest, where Lyra had touched him, opened. Not as a wound, but as a window. Golden light poured out of him. Lines of glowing script flew into the air, floating, dancing, forming patterns. One elder raised a hand. The script gathered into a sphere, and the elder bowed. Lyra's eyes filled with tears. They accept you. They've never bowed to anyone, not even me. Jace's voice cracked. Why are they here now? She turned to the sky. Because the others, the real enemy, they finally understand that you are the beginning of a new signal. One they can't erase. Above, the creature in the clouds roared without sound. Its tendrils reached toward the tower. The elders turned their backs and vanished, but not before one final whisper passed through Jace's mind. Find the vault, or Earth will fall next. Lyra stepped beside him, her voice no longer soft. Jace, we don't run anymore. He nodded. The shield within him glowed, and somewhere, deep beneath the earth, something old began to wake. Asterisk. The vault wasn't made of stone or steel. It wasn't hidden in a desert or locked inside a mountain. It was alive, buried under the oldest subway line in the city, pulsing beneath the streets like a forgotten heartbeat. Jace stood before it now, a door that wasn't a door. It shimmered like a curtain of water and stars, floating in midair. It responded only to him, not to machines, not to weapons, only to the one who carried the signal, only to the one who shared his fries with a girl who wasn't human. Lyra stood behind him, silent. The city above trembled. The alien ship had grown larger. Its tendrils were now touching rooftops. Power was failing, block by block. Time was running out. Jace reached out, and the vault opened inside. There was no gold, no weapons, just a room of memory. Images floated around them. Whole planets, lost species. Symbols from Lyra's world danced in the air, glowing and spinning, waiting to be understood. Then a heartbeat. Lyra stepped forward, her hand over her chest. It's calling to me, she whispered. Jace felt it too, but deeper, stronger, like something in the room was him. From the center of the chamber, a platform rose. Upon it, a simple object, a glass cube, pulsing with golden light. Jace approached. His mark glowed brighter than ever. Lyra said, "This is the source, the last voice of my people, the pure signal. It can rewrite." Rewrite what? Reality. Suddenly, the air cracked. A tendril from the ship above pierced the roof of the chamber. The walls shuddered. Light flickered. The final harvester had arrived. It dropped into the vault like a god of shadow, towering, skeletal eyes, glowing crimson. Its voice thundered inside their skulls. That code does not belong to the flesh. Jace stepped forward. No, he said, but it belongs to me now. The harvester raised its weapon. Lyra jumped forward again, a shield between Jace and death. But this time Jace stopped her. No, I protect you now. He raised both hands. His entire body lit up like a second sun. Golden script exploded from his skin, swirling into a storm. The cube on the platform responded, lifting, spinning, vibrating. The harvester screamed, but it was too late. Jace's voice echoed not with sound, but with meaning. Not words, but feeling, peace, memory, protection, choice, and the code. Obeyed. A beam shot upward through the city, cutting through clouds and sky, striking the alien ship above. The jellyfish-like craft cracked. Its tendrils recoiled. The harvester inside the chamber froze, then shattered into dust. Silence. Above Earth. The ship vanished, gone, retreated, not defeated, warned. Back in the chamber, Jace fell to his knees. Lyra caught him. Her hands glowed, but this time, not gold. Blue, warm, healing. He smiled. We did it. She smiled back. No, you did it. Then, from her pocket, she pulled something unexpected. A single, slightly crushed fry wrapped in a napkin. I saved one, she said. Jace laughed, tears in his eyes. That's disgusting. She held it out to him. He took it, broke it in half, gave her one piece, and in that moment, two beings, one born of earth, one born of stars shared the last fry, not as soldier and weapon, but as equals, as friends, as the first signal of a new story, waiting to be told.